Super fast.
Appalachia.
And they ended up finding a box with a human brain in it.
That's some knowledge.
Wow, she's shaking already.
She's shaking already. Welcome to episode 3 of the Kreepy podcast by
Kreepy Couple.
and the Pew.
And a pew.
Special guest.
Putrid the pew. Talk to the people, pew. Yeah, sit down, pew. No, this is you don't gotta do a standing ovation. A sitting ovation will do. So, as usual, we have 3 stories for you tonight, and these ones are also supposedly true stories. How true are they? We don't know,
I
but
don't know.
scarier if they were true.
As we're talking about them last week, our light magically turned on. No updates. Nothing else spooky happened.
We do live in a pretty, haunted house.
Somewhat.
Well, it is like a haunted...
It's pretty haunted.
There's like a haunted beast who lives in the closet.
Keeps opening the doors.
We'll talk about that another day.
Another day, another time.
Okay. So, our first story is called Randonautica is Cursed. Do you remember Randonautica?
No.
Randonautica was that app that people were downloading, and you would put in like a keyword, like something you wanted, like happiness or friendship or something like that, and then it would send you a coordinates to a location, and you would go to the location, and people overwhelmingly were reporting that like they would be sent to terrible locations where there were either dead bodies or like missing people or just super scary things. You don't remember that?
No? No, the only thing I remember is that weird thing where there's like these random boxes you gotta go and unlock, and there was like little gifts or trinkets inside there people will leave.
One person said, I remember hearing a story where one person said they were looking for knowledge, and they ended up finding a box with a human brain in it.
That's some knowledge.
Finding some knowledge for sure. Other people, I don't know how true it was, but they said they found like a missing person in a suitcase. I don't know.
Ooh.
Either way, this is this person's story, and I guess let's get into it. So a few weeks ago, my friend and I were bored and decided to try Randonautica. We set the radius to 10 kilometers, if I remember well, and it gave us a point located in the nearby forest, just next to the main road. After about a 10-minute drive, we arrived. Mind you, this road has no streetlights. It is completely pitch dark. We parked the car and started walking towards the point. When we arrived at the site, we saw some stone pillar-like structures in the ground. We were a bit surprised by how the app knew where these pillars even were. They aren't even marked on any maps. We decided to head back to the car because suddenly it got super, super cold and we were shivering. Walking back to the car, after we got to the car, I opened the door when my friend suggested to ask the app for another location. So I left the door open and walked up to him, and as we were talking, our one and only flashlight died. But we just laughed it off. Then the car door, which I've left wide open, slammed shut. After a brief moment of total silence, we turned on the flashlight on our phones. Mine's at only 6% and my friend's is at 2%. We looked along and inside the car when we hear a crack from the bushes right next to us. We hopped in the car and locked the doors, and after the third try of trying to get the engine on, we got out of there. Then the Randonautica app notified us that we've completed the task. On the way back home, we deleted the app and waited 30 minutes before driving to my friend's house. We are never using that app again.
Oh no.
Pretty scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Pretty scary.
Oof.
I remember hearing about it and I thought I was just like way too scared to even try it because nobody ever had a good experience on that app.
Yeah, I don't remember it. And if I heard all this stuff doing it, I would never even try it. You're
Yeah.
finding like brains and like
People's remains.
weird.
Weird. The next story is I had a terrifying encounter in the Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachia.
Let me start by saying I've lived in the Appalachian Mountains all my life and have experienced a lot of strange things. My family was Irish and settled in WV, but I currently live in NC portion of these wonderful mountains. That being said, I have learned a lot about what really lurks in these dark woods, but this was like nothing I had ever experienced before. It all began with my golden retriever Ozzy growling like I had never heard before.
Whoa.
He literally never growls, so this had me already uncomfortable. But his growl was bone chilling. It was like he was getting ready to have the fight for his life. I took him and my other dog out at around 11 p.m., and he would not leave my side. I noticed that my workshop door was open, so I walked down to close and lock it up. The entire time, he is glued to my side. Ozzy also kept trying to get in between my legs, still growling, and all of his hair sticking straight up like a feral animal. The second I closed the door, all hell breaks loose in the woods. It sounded like 50 full-grown men had broken out into a full sprint, tearing through the woods.
Oh no.
Trees were shaking, branches were falling. In all of my life, I had never been that scared.
Why are you so scared of the carriage? Courage. Shaking in her chair.
Courage, courage.
She heard golden retriever.
This is a scary dog story. It's making her uncomfortable.
Scary dog story.
We got back in the house before I shit my pants, and I got my pistol mag light to figure out what was going on out there. When the dog and I got back outside, we were surrounded by what sounded like people mumbling. It was everywhere. I shined the light all over the woods and couldn't see anything, but the sound was coming from all directions. It sounded as if you got a full gym of people to baby mumble.
Oh no.
You could almost make out words. That's why I don't think it was an animal. I almost immediately felt sick, like I was having a mix between a panic attack and a full swing of the flu. Back inside the house, it sounded like people were walking around all night. The windows were creaking, and you could clearly hear the sound of shoes on gravel. The mumbling never stopped. Every time I got up to check the house, my feet would touch... Oh.
She's ready too.
Yeah, she's ready. My feet would touch the floor, and it would go dead silent again.
She's ready.
You couldn't hear birds, crickets, frogs, or anything. I was terrified. I didn't sleep a wink. The air felt thick and evil all night. That's the only way I could explain the feeling. Imagine a soaking wet quilt being tossed over you, and that's how it felt. I'm looking for any answers as to what this could have been. This wasn't like your normal spooky story. That's like freaky. Like,
it went super silent.
Whenever he would get up out of bed to try to see what was going on or like look out the window, super silent, completely silent, dead silent. They say that happens. But it's like, what brought that on?
Just the Appalachia woods.
That's just the Appalachians for you.
It's just what happens there.
Guess so.
Every story there.
Every story about the Appalachians.
Is really good.
Our next story is called pretty straightforward. I moved into an extremely haunted house.
Nice.
I moved into a house in Indiana a few months ago. It seemed perfect at the time. Not too big, not too small, decent price, quiet neighborhood. The moment I walked in and shut the door, though, I felt something was wrong. It was this heavy, uneasy feeling in my chest, like the house didn't want me. I brushed it off as I figured it was moving stress and started unpacking. The very first full day, I went into the kitchen and found one of the upper cabinets wide open. I distinctly remember closing it earlier. I shut it again and thought maybe the latch was loose. The next day, I was in the living room when I heard the cabinet creak open and then shut by itself.
Mm.
I walked in and it was open again. I still keep telling myself that it is an old house thing.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That night, it got real.
Oh no.
I was lying in bed when I heard slow footsteps in the hallway. Not normal walking, slow, dragging steps, like someone sneaking around. They would stop right outside my bedroom door for what felt like minutes. I lived completely alone. No pets, no roommates. I lay there frozen listening. This happened almost every night after that. Then the nightmares started, and that's when I knew something was seriously wrong. The first bad one, I woke up screaming. In the dream, I was in my bed, but the room was freezing. I looked up and there was a man hanging from the ceiling right above me, rope around his neck, body swaying, face turning purple and swollen, eyes bulging open, staring straight down at me. His head slowly turned, even though his neck was clearly broken, and he opened his mouth like he was trying to say my name. I woke up gasping, covered in sweat.
Gasping in sweat.
Can't kiss. After that,
in sweat.
the hanging man was in nearly every nightmare. Sometimes he'd be hanging in the hallway when I tried to run, sometimes in the kitchen, dripping something dark. One of the worst ones, he was hanging inches above my face. Scary motorcycle sound in the distance. One of the worst ones, he was hanging inches above my face, rope creaking, black liquid dripping from his mouth onto me. It burned. I couldn't move. His cold, dead fingers brushed my cheek right before I jolted awake. That morning, I had 3 fresh scratches across my chest that weren't there when I went to sleep.
Not good.
I got scared enough that I bought a bunch of wooden crosses and hung them all over the house.
Oh.
One right above my bed, one by the front door, one in the hallway, one in the kitchen. I'm not even super religious, but I figured it couldn't hurt. It made things worse.
Yeah. As soon as they mentioned those, I knew something bad was going to happen.
A couple nights later, I woke up to a loud thump. The cross above my bed was on the floor, turned completely upside down. The nail was still in the wall. I hung it back straight. The next day, the hallway cross was upside down. Then the kitchen one. No matter how many times I fixed them, they'd be inverted again. One afternoon, I came home from the store and every single cross in the house was flipped upside down at the same time. That really shook me. Now I'm starting to think like maybe enough is enough, you know? Maybe sometimes you can just like leave. You just don't got to keep pushing forward.
Just leave.
Pretty bad.
Did she buy the house or she was renting the house?
I think she said she bought the house.
She bought the house? I would just leave.
Just sell it. Get rid of it.
I wouldn't even sell it. Just leave it there.
The activity kept escalating hard. Cabinets would slam so loud it sounded like they were going to break. Footsteps followed me from room to room, even during the day. I'd feel ice cold hands grabbing my shoulder or brush the back of my neck. The whispers turned into clear voices saying my name and telling me to stay. Sometimes I'd hear laughing, low and nasty from coming from inside the walls. That's a demon.
That's pretty scary.
This is a demon.
Well, once the crosses got turned upside down, yeah.
The final straw came one night. I woke up around 3 a.m. to every cabinet in the kitchen slamming open and shut at the same time super fast.
Whoa. Whoa. That's a good one. The AC turned on at the perfect timing.
Should we let it go on or what?
It shouldn't be picking it up.
Why are we such scaredy cats?
That's what it is. We're just creepy guys. Creepy couple. Like scary things, but get really scared still.
We're such scaredy cats.
We're literally like Shaggy and Scooby. That's us. Shaggy, Scooby, and Vilma. Even she jumped, I think, too.
That was scary.
Guys, all you guys should clip that. Post it all over. That's a good one. The story over or still going?
No, it's still going.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Okay. Slamming open and shut at the same time super fast, like something was raging. When I got up to check, the hanging man was standing in the hallway, fully
Ooh.
visible, rope still around his neck, head tilted at that horrible angle. He wasn't in a dream this time. He took a dragging step towards me.
Ooh.
I ran back into my room, locked the door, and didn't come out until daylight. The same morning, I found new scratches all over my arms. I just couldn't take it anymore. The fear was constant. I was barely sleeping, jumping at every sound. I felt like I was losing my mind. 2 days later, I packed up whatever I could as fast as possible, loaded my car, and got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I didn't even clean the place out or give proper notice. I just left the keys on the counter and drove away.
Exactly how I would do it. What do you think?
That was a creepy one.
Yeah, and the air conditioner turning on too made it a little more real.
I didn't like that. That was the last one,
That
though.
was the last one. Wow.
That was scary.
That was a pretty scary one. That was a scary
That's
one.
a real one. That's
Like,
a real
after
story.
I came home and I seen all the crosses tipped over at the same time,
Done for.
I would have left right then
We
and
gotta
there.
get out of here.
I wouldn't have stood more.
More. Ooh, that's so creepy.
Or just imagine after the first dream.
A dream is a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you had, well, I guess, maybe after like the third or fourth one, of the same continuous dream.
I always think that dreams are messages, though. So I don't know.
Messages of what? What would that be a message of, though?
Well, I mean, I always think that dreams are a message. So it's like, for me, a dream is not just like, oh, a random thing. So, like, I would have assumed that that was something already.
Well, no, I'm just saying, what would that be a
That
message
there's
of?
an evil monster in the house that wants to kill me.
Oh, I guess I can see that, yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Imagine clammy little cold hands touching you everywhere you go in your house. Imagine you walk and you hear footsteps behind you.
From room to room during the day?
Everywhere.
During the day.
Disgusting.
Remember that one house we lived in
Mm-hmm.
when I was like out working, and then you were
Mhm.
home and you said you heard me
Mm-hmm.
in the house, and then there was a footstep in the middle of the room?
Yeah. I remember. We've lived
Not
in
a
some
footstep, a
a footprint.
footprint. Like an actual barefoot.
We've lived in some pretty haunted places. Pretty much
Yeah.
every place has been haunted so far. But yeah, we were living in this little house in the middle of like absolutely nowhere on a dark highway. And he wasn't home, and I was in the restroom, and the restroom had a window. And I heard knocking on the window, and I thought, oh, he must have left his key. He can't get back in the house. He was nowhere to be found. He wasn't. And
I was nowhere near the house even.
and there was nobody trying to get in. But also that story about like hearing things dragging up in the attic and stuff like that, like we
Oh,
had
yeah,
that too.
that was
And there was a box up there.
Yeah.
There was a box
There
up
was
there
a box up there.
with a whole bunch of 2x4s holding it down and like
A
on
whole
top
bunch
of it,
2x4s on top of it, and crates like around it.
trying to like barricade it up there or something.
Yeah.
We never were brave enough to figure out what was in that box.
Never went up there. There was a lot more stuff up there too.
Didn't want to go.
We didn't want to go. It was an old neighborhood.
It was a
and
historical 100-year-old house.
Yeah,
Very old.
and our key was the original like cast iron like metal key for the door. So
It was a very, very old
us being,
place.
you know, a creepy couple, we loved it. Oh man, cast iron keys, 100-year-old house. But things started getting a little weird and we had to leave. Nothing like these stories.
Thankfully.
It was just like the knocking on the window, random footprint.
Random sounds in the middle of the night in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, nothing. Considering these stories, it was nothing.
We even
like that.
had exterminator, remember, go into the attic and we thought there were rats or possums up there. And he said
No droppings.
there was no sign of clawing or droppings or anything up there. He's like, it must be the wind because it's so old.
But it sounded like there was a man with heavy working boots walking on the walking on the ceiling.
Yeah, like he was working up there, like someone was working.
Yeah.
And then like fast movements, like jolting across.
Don't know what it was. Don't want to know what it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're kind of scaredy cats.
Yeah. Oh. Perfect timing too. Third episode. And the fire is out. We'll always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, we also film these. You can see our live reactions on YouTube, also at Creepy Couple.
Thanks for tuning in again, guys, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.